Halo kawan pajak, welcome back to CCPK, Cakap-Cakep Pajak Kalbar, cakapnya yang cakep kui cakap-cakap, episode 9, and I'm Jason Casella, the representative from International Class, Faculty of Economics and Business, Universitas Tanjung Pura, who will be your host for today's podcast, where we will discuss everything related to tax. Today we have a very special guest to accompany us and answer questions related to tax. And here in this opportunity, we have Pak Andre, who will accompany us and answer the questions. Hello, Pak Andre, how are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Yes, I'm also very good. It's really nice to meet you. Okay, so Pak Andre, I think it will be a great opportunity for you to introduce yourself and say hi to the viewers.
Thank you, Jesslyn. Hello, my name is Andre Anggawardana. Currently, I work as section head of Section of Tax Collection Guidance of West Kalimantan Regional Tax Office.
Okay, it's really nice to meet you, Pak Andre.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay, so today we will discuss about the voluntary disclosure program, and Pak Andre will be the perfect person to answer this as he is the section head of the section of tax collection and guidance of the Regional Tax Office of West Kalimantan. Okay, so I think we can directly move to the first question. Okay, so the voluntary disclosure program, or what we usually know as Program Pengungkapan Sukarela or PPS in Indonesian, but I think there are still many of us who are not actually aware about this program or is not actually understand about what this program is. So I think, Pak Andre, would you mind to introduce or to describe about what this program actually is?
Okay, thank you. Yes, currently we have the voluntary disclosure program. Some might say it's like it's a form of tax amnesty program, and we did have several tax amnesty programs in the past. With the current tax amnesty program was in 2016, but of course there are some differences with the voluntary disclosure program. And a tax amnesty, or if we want to know about what is tax amnesty, is actually a limited time offer by the government for specified group of taxpayers to pay a defined amount in exchange for forgiveness of a tax liability for a previous tax period or previous tax periods, and to also to free from any legal persecution. So in a way, maybe it is not 100% wrong if we think that the voluntary disclosure program is tax amnesty, but of course there will be some differences between the 2016 tax amnesty with the voluntary disclosure program, which will be elaborated later maybe in this podcast.
Okay, so the tax amnesty and the voluntary disclosure program is slightly different, and just now you mentioned that it is the program that is designed for specified taxpayers. So actually, who is eligible for this program?
Okay, so in 2016, as we know, there was a tax amnesty program for all taxpayers, both corporate and individual taxpayer. But with the current program, the voluntary disclosure program, the eligibility will be different. There are two categories. First category is for both individual and corporate taxpayer who participated in 2016 tax amnesty but haven't fully declared or disclosed their asset. They will be eligible for the voluntary disclosure program. And the second one is only for the individual taxpayer who in their tax return in 2020 tax return haven't declare asset that are not that are obtained from 2016 to 2020. So compared to the 2016 tax amnesty, the taxpayer that can participate in the program is smaller, actually, in the voluntary disclosure program.
Okay, so actually from the categories that you have mentioned, why would all the taxpayers who are eligible for this program would want to participate in this program?
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, actually, the offer from the government to participate in this kind of program where you can have a free opportunity to be free from any future tax liability or legal prosecution that might arise, because because the taxpayer might forget to completely declare their asset. So the amount will be much smaller than the potential tax liability if you don't participate in the program. So I think it's a very good opportunity for taxpayers to join to participate in the program and to be worry free about any future tax liability or even legal prosecution. I think it's a benefit for the taxpayer.
Yes, I agree. I think it's also a very great opportunity for the taxpayers. Okay, so let's say that I am actually eligible for this period, the voluntary disclosure program during this period. So how do I sign up for this program?
Okay, so if you want to participate in the program, it's quite simple and easy. First, you go to www.pajak.go.id. There will be a dedicated section for the voluntary disclosure program, or the name is in Bahasa Indonesia is Program Pengungkapan Sukarela, or PPS. You can go to the pajak.go.id, and then of course you have to prepare all the documents that relating to the asset that you want to declare. Download the electronic form from the web page, fill it, complete the form, and then you can submit it through that web page. I believe the address will be somewhere in this monitor, so people can have a look on the web page to have more detailed information.
Okay, so that's actually pretty easy because we can do everything through the online website. Okay, so actually one of the most important question is about the duration of this program. So when is it actually happening and how long will it last?
Yeah, the program, the voluntary disclosure program is currently running, and it started from the 1st of January until 30th of June, so it will end soon. I suggest for all taxpayers who want to participate in the program to do it as soon as possible.
Okay, so there's actually not much time left for this program because it has been running for almost half of the year.
Yes.
Okay, so for all the taxpayers who haven't fulfilled their obligation, we hope that you can fulfill it soon because it's going to end soon. Okay, so the next question that I have is that before you have mentioned that the taxpayers going through this program will have to pay less amount of money than compared to the liability that they have when they have to pay without this program. So how much actually do they have to pay with this program?
Yes, in the term of how much money that you need to pay or how much the tax that you need to pay, actually it depends on the value of the asset that you declare. But for the tariffs range from 6% to 18%. So compared to the normal income tax, for example, it's about 20 to 25%. So it's less than the usual amount of tax that you have to pay if you don't participate in the program. And of course, you have to remember that if you are not if you are eligible and then you miss the program, there will be potential penalties that you can bear if you don't want to, if you then miss the opportunity to join the voluntary disclosure program. So I think, yeah, in terms of how much that you have to pay, it's less than the usual tax that you have to pay, not to mention if there is any penalties of interest that also you have to pay if you don't participate in this program.
Yes, so I agree that this is a very good deal for the taxpayers because they will pay less, and if they don't pay, they will also receive penalties. So it's better to pay than to not pay with this program.
Yes, it's a good bargain for the taxpayer. So if they are eligible, I really suggest that they take the opportunity as soon as possible.
Okay, so as you have mentioned before, the program has lasted for almost half of the year. And of course, with all the taxpayers paying for their taxes, there must be a lot of money coming to our country. So is there any latest calculation of how much have we gained throughout this program?
Yes, the money, the revenue, the tax revenue that is collected from the program currently, from the statement from our Minister of Finance, Mrs. Sri Mulyani. Nationally, we have collected around 95 trillion rupiah, and for West Kalimantan it's about 190 billion rupiah. So it's quite a lot of revenue, tax revenue that we have collected so far. But I believe it will be increased during this last month of the program. But we should hope that once again, for those who are eligible, to go ahead, take a look on the program and use the opportunity as soon as possible.
Okay, so that is of course a lot of money coming to our country, and with all the other taxes that the government have collected, that the normal taxes and all that stuff, there must be a lot of money for our country. So how does our government budget or use this money for?
Yeah, as we all know, the tax collected, the tax revenue from taxpayer will be used for government spending, for the government programs and expenditures. Some might goes to I think some goes to public services, and also goes to social protection program, education, health, and many more. If you want to have a look on the detail on the tax collected and how the government spend it, I think you can take a look on our government, our country's budget. But for some illustration on how the government are going to use the amount of tax collected, there is one illustration that you might want to have a look. From 1 million of the taxpayer money, it goes to like the programs that I've mentioned, and you can open the Instagram account of our office. It's at Pajak Kalbar, and there will be a simple illustration on how we spend the tax that we've collected.
Okay, so that's a very good information for everyone who are curious about how actually the government is spending the tax money. You can check out the Instagram of Pajak Kalbar,
Yes,
where there is
yes.
the illustration. Okay, I think we have answered a lot of questions about the voluntary disclosure program,
Yeah.
and I think you have shared a lot of information about that. So lastly, is there anything that you wish to voice out to all the taxpayers about this program?
Okay. Uh, like I probably have mentioned several times about voluntary disclosure program benefits, and I want to say it again that for those taxpayers who are eligible to participate in the program, to take it, to use it, it's a good bargain, it's a good deal, and the taxpayer can be worry free from any future tax liability or legal prosecution. So yeah, participate in the program as soon as possible. It's easy, and if you still need uh, in personal information, you can always visit the nearest tax office and have a information from the information officer in the front desk. I think it's okay. That's all.
Okay, very well. Thank you, Pak Andre, for the wonderful talk. It was very insightful and full of information that we all need about this program. And for all the kawan pajak, please do not forget what Pak Andre have mentioned before. Please use this opportunity and use this chance to report yourself and to use this opportunity and participate in this voluntary disclosure program before it actually ends, because this is actually a very good chance for everyone, a very good bargain, and a very good deal to get less liability than you normally would get. Okay, so lastly, thank you, Andre, for
Thank
your
you,
time
Jocelyn.
today. Thank you for sharing the information today. And thank you, everyone, for watching. Goodbye.